George Pickens is that guy, so throw him the ball. So, George Pickens, this season, he just has not been targeted a lot by the Steelers quarterbacks. And coming into his second year, there was high expectations for him. And he has lived up to those expectations thus far, even though he has had limited targets. You would think a player of his level that you would see him get more targets per game. But no, it's been a struggle to get him the ball. Not even just catches, but targets. It seems like the quarterback is not throwing him the ball, whether that be Kenny Pickett or last game Mitchell Trubisky, or even the offense coordinator is not drawing up good enough plays to get him open and scheme him open. So George Pickens, he's that guy. He's one of the best wide receivers in this league, and you could tell that. You could tell him apart. In his one catch last week against the Jacksonville Jaguars, you see him getting the touchdown. You see him making a play out of nothing and turning it into a 22-yard game when he should have probably been tackled after like 5 yards. You see him hurdle the defender. You always see him make these contested catches on the sidelines whenever the Steelers need him most. But week after week, he continues not to get targets. He has only broke 10 targets twice, and that's right on 10 targets this season. He's played 8 games, and he's only had a high of 6 receptions in one game. He's not broke more than 6 receptions in a game, and that's terrible. Going back week by week, looking at the San Francisco game, he was targeted 7 times, he caught 5 balls. And then week 2, 10 targets, 4 receptions. Week 3, 6 targets, 4 receptions. Week 4, 7 targets, 3 receptions. Then week 5, 10 targets, 6 receptions. Week 7, 8 targets, 5 receptions. And then week 8, 5 targets, 1 reception. So you see that he's barely even getting thrown the ball. And even though you see those targets, some of those are just like inaccurate passes, meaning it's way over his head, thrown out of bounds, or just in his kind of area, so then there's no intentional grounding. It doesn't mean he's actually getting targeted on the play, but he's just the closest wide receiver to the ball. So you would expect a wide receiver like him to get targeted a lot. I believe he should at least be getting 10 plus targets a game. Your best player on the field. He's your best player on offense. When you look at his production, he's the one who gives you production. He literally only has 26 receptions, 28 for the whole season, and he's 522 yards. That's a lot, even for limited receptions. 522 yards on 28 receptions, that's 18.6 yards per catch. And he obviously has those 3 touchdowns as well. And him putting up that production on limited targets, you want to know how much receptions that is per game. If you calculate it, 28 divided by 7, that is 4 receptions per game. There's no way your best player on your team, it doesn't matter even if the defenders are covering him. There's no reason why he should only be getting 4 receptions per game on average. He's your best player on the field. He's shown that week after week, and you wonder why he gets frustrated when the Steelers don't target him. He knows he's the best player on the field. He knows that he could catch basically anything that's thrown to him, as long as the defender just doesn't knock it away before it gets in his hands. If it touches his hands, more than likely it's going to be a catch. You see it. It doesn't matter if it's a fade route, back shoulder route, deep ball route, crossing route, whatever. He's going to catch it, and he's going to make a play. And he's shown that this season, but the quarterback, the offense coordinator, just have not been able to get him the ball, throwing the ball to him, and even scheme-wise. And they should really be doing a better job. Every other team, when you look at their leading receiver, they find a way to get them open. Whether that be the Bengals with Jamar Chase, whether that be the Vikings when Justin Jefferson was not injured, whether that be A.J. Brown from Philadelphia, Travis Kelce from Kansas City. If you're the best player on the field, especially at a receiver position or tight end position, whatever, catching the ball, you're going to find a way how to get the ball. You even look at the Saints and Alvin Kamara, Christian McCaffrey with the 49ers. Even though they're the running back, the coach finds a way to get the running back the ball in space, receiving, to make plays. But the Steelers just don't do that. but that's both the fault of Matt Canada and Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett needs to throw him the ball. Even though Matt Canada's drawing up plays, it's still on the quarterback to throw them the ball. It's still on the quarterback to make an accurate throw on the ball and give the wide receiver an actual chance and not just throw over his head too. But it seems like week after week, whenever the coaches, whenever the quarterback talk about George Pickens, they keep saying they need to find a way to get him the ball, but they just have not done so. And that's what happened once again this week after George Pickens had that one catch. Mike Tomlin in his press conference, when asked about George Pickens and if the Steelers need to start getting the ball more, he smiled, kind of laughed, and said yes in a short answer. Matt Canada said what he usually says. Here's his quote: "Everybody wants George to get the ball. We saw what happened when he got the ball, but we got to be smart. We got to continue to work and find schematics to help him, and we'll always try to do that. The defense can dictate that a little bit with any great wideout, which you guys study. Other people, you know that's the case." But no, that's not the case, because other wide receivers get targets. Other wide receivers find a way how to get open, and they find a way how to get them the ball. And even Kenny Pickett, he had praise for George Pickens, but he continues to do that as well, giving a basic answer that he says all the time, but it just never happens on the field, saying we gotta do some things different and moving him around. Basically saying that Deontay Johnson was obviously big early in the game. He's made a lot of great plays for us, and then it swung over to George's side in the end when he had the slant for a touchdown. No, it did not swing over to George's side at all in the game. He had one catch. That's it. He had one catch. Yes, you could say that it swung over because he made the big play, but no, he had one catch and limited targets, so it did not swing over in the momentum of George Pickens. It was in Deontay Johnson's favor the whole game, with just one throw going George Pickens' way. So even George Pickens, even though in the past he has been critical of not getting the ball, he even kind of downplayed it, saying this: "I can't do nothing but just run my route, but that's pretty much it for real. Yeah, I feel like we're spreading the ball around a lot as an offense. You can't really ask for the ball too much. Everybody gotta get their chances." So that's probably the most basic answer that you could probably ask for a wide receiver to give, and I understand it because George Pickens in the past has been getting criticism of the way he was handling the situation on the sideline when he wasn't getting the ball. So it's great to see that he's giving this approach this time, but you gotta be real. You gotta be real about the situation. He needs the ball. And even if he downplays it, which is a good thing for him to do, I believe, especially in the media, behind closed doors with Kenny Pickett and Matt Canada, they need to have a real discussion about George Pickens getting the ball. Because it's ridiculous how he could only get one catch a whole game and only get four catches per game for the whole season on average on very limited targets, and only getting 10 targets in 2 games this season. He should at least be getting 10 targets per game every single game, not just 2 games out of 8 every single game. But he downplayed it. Matt Canada continues to give his basic answer he gives every single week about the situation. Kenny Pickett continues to give his basic answer of the situation, but they just need to find a way how to give him the ball. Quarterback and offensive coordinator, George Pickens has been able to get open. It's not like he has not been open. Yes, there's some wide receivers where they just won't get open in a game, but he has been open. You've seen that. And then he's on the sideline and you underthrow the ball, getting knocked down. Could have been an easy 30-yard gain. There's many chances to get him the ball, but that just has not happened. And I keep saying that, get him the ball, get him the ball, get him the ball, but they just need to get him the ball. That's just a realistic thing. But with that being said, let me know down in the comments below, how do you feel about this situation? How do you feel about George Pickens kind of downplaying the situation of him not getting the football? Kenny Pickett giving his narrative answer, Matt Canada as well? And how do you feel about how many touches and how many targets George Pickens is getting per game? Do you believe he should be getting more? And how much targets per game do you think he should get at least as a top wide receiver in the NFL and the best player on the Pittsburgh Steelers? Do you think it's 10 plus? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel down below as well if you like Steelers content, analysis, reports. Like the video, turn on post notifications down below for this channel as well, so you get notified whenever I post the next Steelers video. I cover everything Pittsburgh Steelers. There's a game tomorrow, don't forget, versus the Tennessee Titans, Thursday Night Football. So stay tuned, and every news that comes out from the Steelers, I'm covering it all. So, I'll see you guys all later. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.